Hello YouTube. Bane666 here. So I came across a new hashtag started by one of the most bigoted media feminists out there, Clementine Ford. She started the hashtag with the tweet. Question to the male writers, speakers, etc. out there. Is it common for you to be called an attention seeker, or do just women get that? No, we are just called losers, or misogynists, or a hate group, or potential rapists, or waging a war on women, because we want to talk about men's issues. And for the record, I've never referred to anyone as an attention seeker, based on their gender, but only on their behavior. Next. Questions for men. When you have a hostile disagreement with someone, is it common for them to say you're angry because no one will fuck you? As an MRA, yes. We get that from feminists, all the time. From one cat. How are the feminists keeping men from getting laid today? Let's look at the first paragraph. Nothing like kicking off 2015 with a few stories about how bad men have it in today's modern feminist-dominated world, where men are on the verge of being ruined by all these radical feminists running loose and running everything, but still not doing sex to the men's rights activists for some reason. In fact, it's a common tactic of feminism, to reduce men's rights activists down to sex-starved losers. This of course is just a means of avoiding talking about real issues. And for the record, I've criticized both sides for using this tactic in the past. Next. Questions for men. In a job interview, have you ever been asked how you will juggle work and home? No, because as a male, it's just expected that I will sacrifice my personal time for work, often with no extra pay. Also, divorced fathers are less likely to have custody of their children, meaning it's more convenient for them to work themselves to an early grave, as a lifelong wage slave. Hashtag, male privilege. Next. Would you be comfortable with only women weighing in on the debate about your reproductive organs? Or proposing policy law regarding it? Questions for men. Well, considering the number of times we are told by feminists that male genital mutilation isn't really a big deal, I can tell you from first-hand experience, it's fucking annoying. But I assume this tweet is about abortion. So let's take a couple of things into consideration. First point, those in government represent the people voting for them. If a community is anti-abortion, then they will elect an anti-abortion representative. If a community is pro-choice, then they will elect a pro-choice representative. Secondly, communities are made up of both males and females. And in most cases there are more female voters than males. So if an anti-abortion representative is elected, at least some of the people voting for that representative are female. This concept that all females are pro-choice, while those evil, all-male, right-to-lifers are trying to stop them, is nonsense. Both sides of the debate are made up of members of all genders. Thirdly, if you don't like the gender of your representative, then vote for someone else, or better yet, get your arse off Twitter, and actually run yourself, instead of expecting everyone else to do it for you. But that would require effort, wouldn't it? And for the record, I consider the gender of who I'm voting for an irrelevant factor. Next. Questions for men. Have you ever expressed a strong opinion and been called a manly Nazi? At Clementine Ford. No, but talking about men's issues will get you labeled a misogynist. And need I point out that there are male feminists who get called feminazis as well? Have you considered the label might have more to do with what you are saying, and not the gender of the person saying it? Of course not. Next. Questions for men. Have you ever read a think piece by a respected female writer explaining why and how men aren't funny? No. Just the think pieces explaining how all men are potential pedophiles. I don't want my kids sitting next to a man on a plane. From the article. I know it's sexist. But I don't want my kids sitting next to a man on a plane. And later in the article. In 2012, flight crew forced a male nurse to swap seats with a female passenger, because he was sitting next to an unrelated girl traveling on her own. It seemed I had this sign I couldn't see above my head that said child molester, he said later. The airline defends its policy, which still states, Unaccompanied minors are allocated seats next to adult female customers. Where possible, Qantas aims to seat children near crew areas or next to an empty seat. This policy reflects parents' concerns and the need to maximize the child's safety and well-being. In the words of former New South Wales Commissioner for Children and Young People Gillian Calvert, in the absence of any other test, it's one way in which the airline can reduce the risk of children traveling alone. Let me think. Now, would I prefer to be considered a pedophile or a rapist, based on my gender, or would I prefer to be considered unfunny, based on my gender? Wow, that's a hard one. But seriously, both of these assumptions based on gender are wrong, but I think we all can agree that one assumption is vastly more offensive than the other. Next. Questions for men. How does your wife feel about your career? Well, I'm not married, so have never been asked this. But I do find it ironic, as the career of potential male partners seems to be a lot more important to women than the career of potential female partners is to men. This is what's known as hypergamy. Obviously not all women are hypergamous, but you only have to look at society to see that vastly more women are hypergamous than men. So I would suspect, how does your wife feel about your career? Is a commonly asked question. Next. Questions for men. Have you ever had trouble breaking into your chosen field because it's a girls' club? Of course, this assumes that modern-day workplaces are filled with boys' clubs. It also ignores that some fields have become female-dominated, or hostile towards males. Need I mention the exodus of males from teaching careers? Next. Questions for men. Are you glad you waited until you were established in your career before becoming a father? This of course ignores that many men sacrifice time with their children for their career. It also ignores that this is a societal expectation placed on males. I would think it's obvious that if someone takes years off from their career to have children, they are going to slip behind those who did not. You can't have it all without sacrificing something. Nor is everything owed to you without you earning it through hard work. Next. How often have you needed to lie and pretend you had a partner to try to stop someone hitting on you? Questions for men. Well, considering that society expects males to always make the first move, obviously this is going to be something that affects men more than women. You know, it would be kind of like asking a woman, how often have you had to make the first move, and faced rejection? For the record, although rare, I have seen females make the first move. Usually they are drunk, and will be persistent, even if they know you have a partner. The word, no, isn't something they are used to hearing, and tends to be a kick to their ego. Next. Questions for men. Have you even been judged on the length of your pants? Try turning up to a job interview in a pair of shorts, and see what that gets you. Next. Questions for men. When you achieve something great, do you expect the female reporter to say, "Give us a twirl, who are you wearing?" I agree that the reporter who asked that was out of line. Just as the feminists attacking a scientist over his shirt were out of line. You know, someone achieving something great, but only being judged by their clothing. Next. Questions for men. Have you ever had to fight for a 10% share of the conversation with women who think that you're actually taking 80% share? This of course assumes that women only have 10% of the conversation, and that men have 80%. Which is ludicrous. Next. Has your body been compared to an unlocked car, wallet or other object that can be carelessly left unattended? Questions for men. No, it hasn't, because as a male, no one gives a shit about my body. Or for that matter, my safety in comparison to the safety of women. I'm also expected to take responsibility for my actions, and my safety, which is what the unlocked car metaphor is getting at. Next. Do you send your mates a message to let them know you've gotten home safely? Questions for men. Well, actually, yes. There have been times that I've been out drinking with mates, and one mate in particular has been very drunk, and catching public transport home. And I've checked up on him when I've gotten home, because I've been concerned that once he's gotten off the train, He's passed out in a gutter somewhere. But I will agree that females do this type of thing more often than males. Probably because males are given less consideration by society, even though we are more likely to be victims of violent crime. Next. How many times have you been told you're such an independent young man, like that shouldn't just be a given? Questions for men. Yes, but men who aren't independent are considered losers, while females are not. That is why so many feminists use the living in your mother's basement shaming tactic towards males, but never females. Next. Have you ever considered the advantages to be gained from signing your work using only your initials? Questions for men. No, I haven't, and I doubt many women have either. Excluding paranoid feminists who see oppression everywhere, of course. Next. Questions for men. Ever been called a boy gamer while girls are just gamers? Oh, the irony. Considering that social justice warriors are constantly referring to all gamers as white, straight, males, this comment is kind of funny. Next. Questions for men. Why do the WJOLE cake? Well, that's a very hard question to answer, mainly because I don't understand it. Next. What is the most effective way to harass a woman? Questions for men. Well, I can't really say what the most effective way to harass a woman is, as I don't harass women. The most effective way to harass a feminist, though, is to ask simple questions, use logic, or ask for citations, in a polite non-threatening manner. They hate that shit. Next. Questions for men. Is your masculinity so fragile that you feel entitled to seek revenge on any woman who rejects you? Oh look, shaming language from a bigot. I'm guessing she missed this story in the news. From the Mirror. Woman who tried to cut off her ex-husband's penis with scissors spared jail. A 72-year-old woman has been spared jail after trying to cut off her husband's penis with a pair of scissors. Virginia Valdez, 72, was sentenced to 3 years probation and 429 hours of community service for the 2011 attack on her 62-year-old husband Cesar Valdez. The couple, who had been married for 32 years but were going through a divorce at the time, were getting intimate in the bedroom on the day of the attack. She claimed she was going to clean her teeth but returned with the scissors. Mr. Valdez stemmed the flow of blood with towels, called an ambulance and telling the operator, "Bitch tried to cut my dick off." But we all know that this type of crime is funny when it happens to a man, right?
Men out there, brace yourselves, because we're about to go there because this woman, allegedly did. According to the Orange County DA's office, Catherine Q. Becker is accused of cutting off her husband's penis with a knife, taking his penis and throwing it into the garbage disposal. She's been charged with felony torture and aggravated mayhem. Police say Becker attacked him because he filed for divorce. She's being held. She goes, that'll teach him. She is being held in a California jail while her husband remains in the hospital.
I bet you that those prison guards are wearing one of those, what are those things that footballers wear? Those metal cups.
Oh, yeah, that the athletes wear?
Yes, yes.
Jockstrap? Cups,
yes. I mean, I don't know the circumstances. I don't know why he filed for divorce. I don't know what was going on between them. However, I do think it's quite fabulous. I mean, can you just imagine that thing whizzing around the disposal? It's like hysterical.
A wronged wife was arrested for chopping off her husband's penis, and she did it twice. That's right, not just once, but twice. That woman was pissed. Reports say that cheating father of 5, Fan Lung, tried to send a saucy email through his wife's phone. He logged into his email on her phone while at home and sent some saucy emails to his lover. Wifey came over, used her phone, and I'm logged into his email. Oh wait, what's this? She found that email and she found a bunch of others and went into a fit of rage. Now that part wasn't all that surprising. I would be really pissed off too. However, the next part is where it gets crazy and a little graphic. She decided to grab a pair of scissors, march into the bedroom, and chop his penis off while he was sleeping. Are you guys as shocked as I am that she would cut this off? I mean, we might joke about it, but would you guys actually do something like this? Comment below. I'm shocked. I said twice, didn't I? That's right, the story continues. The gentleman was rushed to the hospital and they actually reattached it, and so he was at the hospital recovering, but the wife snuck back into the hospital room and cut it off again, and this time to really make sure it stayed off, she threw it out the window. Hell have no fury like a woman scorned.
There are arseholes that belong to both genders. Next. Questions for men. Why is it when we talk about equality, your first thought is, well, when can I hit women? Well, if you are interested in equality, Holly, maybe you should be trying to change social attitudes that deem it okay for women to hit men. That way, it would be wrong for everyone to act violently.
Punch him.
What?
Jesse, what the fuck are you doing?
Let me through, bitch.
What happened? No, jump me the fuck up. You see your face?
I'm good.
Oh, let me see the face, dude.
Is that less strong? Jump me up or not?
Yeah. Why did why's your face bleeding?
It's not, nigga. Are you gonna jump me the fuck up? This is less strong.
Yeah,
Dude,
why did she punch you?
You
won't punch him again.
This is less strong.
You won't punch him again.
Less strong.
Stop betting
You won't do
me.
it
I'm
again.
just
No, you won't.
trying to take a shot.
You better call the police.
Ain't nobody trying to take a shot with you.
Are you gonna fucking
Call
jump
the
me
police.
up or
Call
not,
the police
nigga?
hunter. Call the police hunter.
Tell them to scoop you.
And I'm 17. I could get charges
It
against
don't matter.
you.
I'm still trying.
We got video of you pushing my ass against the
My
table.
brother's a detective, so it don't matter. Just stop. Are you gonna jump me up or not, Jesse? Please. Please, just stop. Jesse, are you gonna jump me up or not?
Yeah.
Please. I know, but you're gonna get me in trouble. Are you
No,
gonna fucking
I'd
jump
be
me up?
quiet.
No, you're not. Are you gonna fucking jump me up or not, nigga?
Yeah.
I swear to fucking God, nigga.
It's for the fucking God, nigga.
Ooh, whoa.
Dude.
Whoa.
Dude.
You just crossed the line right there.
Please go. Please go. On that note, please go.
Jump me up for one, nigga.
Alright.
No.
No, dude, that's not cool. That's
Yeah,
not
you
jump
just crossed the line right there.
Dude. No, just stop. Just stop.
You gotta jump me up for one, nigga. You give me a black eye, nigga. You give me a swing line.
Yo, please go. Please go. Please go.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Look at this.
Take a seat. I'm sorry. Take a seat.
You gotta jump me up for what? Just,
Dude,
Get the fuck out.
relax. Come here. Just
I'm
don't even.
tasting blood now.
Wow.
Get the fuck out.
Next. Questions for men. Does minimizing women's experiences and attacking them on social media make your fleshlight more attracted to you? Well, that's a very interesting question. What was it we heard just before? Questions for men. When you have a hostile disagreement with someone, is it common for them to say you're angry because no one will fuck you? Well, I guess that question has been answered. Next. Questions for men. How often do you have to tell yourself to lean in, stand up for your ideas? That would be, all the time. Next. Have you ever voiced your opinion only to have it shot down because you're a man? Questions for men. I think you mean cisgendered, heteronormative, straight, white male scum. And the answer would be, yes. Next. Questions for men. Do you ever pretend that you're discriminated against or oppressed as a way to make up for your own inadequacies? Oh look, it's someone dismissing the issues of an entire group, based on nothing more than their gender. Typical really. Anyway guys, feel free to leave your questions for feminists, or questions for social justice warriors, below in the comments section. And remember folks, until next time, don't drink the poison Kool-Aid.
I want to talk more about the questions for men. It was, what's the word, not invented, but created by one of my favourite writers, Clementine Ford. She is a loud and proud feminist, and I love her. So I think it was great. Of course, a lot of men hated it and proceeded to go all men's rights activists on it and say that, oh, these things happen to men as well and blah, 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 which I'm sure some of them do, but not to the extent that it happens to women in this world where rape victims are often blamed for the rape, in that they were too drunk or they were showing too much skin, or that they said yes to begin with but then no later, but a yes means a yes. So yeah, it's just been very interesting to see the tweets trickle in, and the hate and abuse that Clementine has received. I'm sure she's used to it by now and hopefully laughs it off, because these are pathetic children that don't even deserve her time. But some of the threats that she gets and retweets and puts on Twitter are disgusting and exactly prove the point that she's trying to make, that women have to fear for their lives if they open their mouths sometimes. Not good enough.